JK, you must be feeling pretty good after this. Good start to the year.
Yeah, I was thinking about it this morning, actually, TJ. I was thinking, wow, this week is really intriguing, right? Are you prepared to lose a test match to know who we're going to take as from number 23 to 33?
I don't think that needs to be answered, JK. They won't want to lose a test match. I know what you're getting at, and it's a great position to be in, because now they've locked away the Bledisloe, they've locked away the Rugby Championship. What I liked about this was that it was a different kind of test match to what we've been seeing, Sikopi, that they had no sort of command of the scoreboard as such, and they were put under or asked enough questions of their defence by Australia at times, and they kept their composure and their structure on defence, and then that transition from defence into attack. I think that's the big positive to come out of this.
Yeah, I thought they weathered the storm really well in the first 20. You know, the Aussies come out really hard, and they spoke about starting fast and strong. And, you know, the All Blacks just weathered that storm, held onto the ball, built those phases. Typical, you know, Joe Smith style. They hang onto the ball, build those phases. And, you know, it came after they ran up, you know, 10-plus phases and scored those tries. So, you know, again, it wasn't the typical All Blacks test match that they play that expansive style, but it was something different.
Sikopi, as someone who's played 100 test matches for the Wallabies, just close your eyes for a moment, because the Bledisloe Cup is back in the trophy cabinet for the 21st straight year. There's nothing quite like having it in the middle of the dressing room, is there, JK? Full to the brim with beer. We're still unsure about how many it takes, but they've all had a go. The newbies are front and centre.
Unfortunately, I was probably the last one to lose it.
How do you lose something that size?
Yeah, I've lost it. Not the trophy, the game. Yeah, we did actually lose the lid, but we won't go into that. But I think over the last 20-odd years, it has turned into something incredibly special. Way more shared in my era. And I think the Australian side went through that beautiful period probably when professionalism started. But we want it to be more competitive. We're going to have to change it a wee bit and make it 3 test series or something, because having it for 21 years is fantastic and we want to keep it. But from a competition point of view, you know, I'd like to see it possibly go back to 3 tests.
Yeah, I think behind that sort of niggly exterior that we saw from Eddie last week, I think deep down he really would have loved in World Cup year to get that Bledisloe back, at least give themselves a chance to go to Dunedin to win it back, because I think that's like a 2-shot swing in golf. Someone's eagling, someone's bogeying, something like that. It would have been a huge boost to Australia, and as he suggested, I don't know whether the New Zealand economy would have got any worse than what it already is, but you know, you can see what he's getting at there. I actually think that test match was a pretty important one for both teams. I suppose the question is now what happens, as you rightly say, JK, what do the All Blacks do with this remaining game? But also, where does that leave Eddie in terms of his preparation with this so-called friendly game that they're playing against Argentina this coming weekend?
Yeah, I think he banked on it a lot, and he spoke about it. You know, he spoke about Dunedin, he spoke about MCG, and I think the build-up to that was quite massive. And I guess it's just a little hiccup in his preparation with the team, and I'm sure he'll look to keep those combinations on this week. I thought Carter Gordon did really well, and I think he'll just look to build the chemistry within the combinations he's got and keep working on that towards the World Cup.
I don't think he's got a choice, to be fair. He'll know enough now. Like, he's one of the hardest workers in the game. He would have looked at all the guys that he's dropped. He would have looked at all the players. He would have looked at every rugby league player, you know. But I think he's got to settle on a side. We talked about combinations. Yeah. You know, I really like the Barrett-Ioane combination. I think they're starting to really gel. But we don't know any combinations in the Australian side. So he's got to go, this is my best side, barring injuries, and I'm going to play it now all the way through.
Just getting back to your original question, and I think it's a pertinent point, because he's got to name a World Cup team. I'm talking about Ian Foster here. So how much tinkering does he do? I'm not sure that he'll want to do too much. I think he'll want to do enough to give some people who haven't had a lot of action just to have a look at them, but I think he's got a bit of momentum here and he'll want to keep that going.
I think you have to.
33?
I think you have to. Sorry, Kirsty, but I think you have to. Like, mission accomplished. There are problems. So, for Anuku, Caleb Clark, is Anuku going to be covering centre? You know, who's the other loose forward? You know, what are we going to do with the back three? You know, I just think you've got to go, here's a group opportunity. We're going to get out there. And the Australian side, I believe, for periods last night, Eddie will be happy. First 20, second 15, second half, first 15 minutes. But now's the opportunity for the country to go, okay, Fozzie, if you want to take some risk and change 5 or 6 because we want to know who's going to the World Cup, go for it.